Hari Om. We shall chant from verse number 11. Yadaksharam veda vido vadanti vishanti yadyatayo vitaragaha yadichanto brahmacharyam charanti tatte padam sangrahena pravakshe sarvadvarani sanyamya manoridi nirudhya cha murtnyadhayatmana pranam astito yogadharanam om ittekaksharam brahma vyaharan mamanusmaran yaprayati tyajandeham sayati paramam gatim. So Bhagavan answers Arjuna's question. He says that whatever we think at the time of death, whatever convictions we have, we get that type of life in future. One who remembers God and leaves this body attains God. So therefore one should constantly remember God. Mam anusmara yudhyacha. While performing our duties, one should constantly keep one's attention on that supreme reality, which is not different from my own self. Slowly and steadily, our mind will get tuned to it, our intellect will get tuned to it, and we will be able to realize that supreme nature of our own. Bhagavan indicated it with the words Kavim Puranam Anushasitaram, some 8 pointers he gave. But for those who find it difficult to comprehend that supreme reality in its true form, Bhagavan says you can take the help of the sound symbol Om. So this Om is the very essence of all the Vedas, and it is the support of that Brahma. To attain that Brahma, one can take support of Om. One can, it is the subtlest support. It just by chanting and meditating on the meaning of Om, one will be able to realize that ultimate truth. But one should chant and meditate with full focus and attention. Sarvadvarani sayyamya manohridi nirudhyacha. Focusing, controlling all the senses, placing the mind in the heart, placing the pranas in the head. One should chant this Om. Om iti ekaksharam brahma vyaharan mam anusmaran yaprayati tajandeham sayati paramam gatim. One who constantly chants, utters this Om and contemplate on the meaning, Mam Anusmaran, constantly remembers me, think about me, which is indicated by the sound Om. So both this should go together, the constant chanting of Om and contemplating on the meaning of that Om. So, doing this, one leaves this body, sayati paramam gatim, that person attains that supreme goal. So later on, our great Mahatmas and all even further simplified the path by giving some more mantras also and some other names of God. If one finds difficulty in contemplating and chanting Om, then one can take up any other name of Bhagwan, like Ram or Krishna. Like Valmiki ji, just by chanting Ram, became supremely pure, his mind became absolutely clean and pure, and he attained that identity with God. And even now in modern times, so many masters, they have come, they also followed this path, and they give this advice to others also, that you can take up this path, simple, Bhagwan's name you can chant. Tulsi Ramayana, Tulsidas ji gives a lot of importance to it. He says in this Kali Yuga, the simplest and the most effective path is to take Bhagwan's name. Nahi kali karamana bhagati bibeku Rama nama avalambana eku. That in Kali Yuga, that all other paths are little tough, but one can just chant Bhagwan's name. So right from simplest, very easy and simple path to the most complex path, everything is indicated, because some people, they feel that, oh, no, I want something much complex and so difficult sounding path, they feel very nice. If something very simple is told, we don't have faith in it. And very complex is told, we can't do it. But we have faith. Lot of pranayam, lot of these, some mantras and some esoteric sadhana and all. And then we have faith. But when it is said, you just take Bhagwan's name with full love and devotion, we might not have that much faith. But here Bhagwan is stressing that again and again. He says that one who chants this Om, Om iti ekaksharam Brahma. So with full attention, one has to chant it loudly, or then later on in one's own mouth, means whispering, and then with the mind itself, one can chant that Om. And as one chants, one has to think about the meaning. So as I said yesterday, that represents the entire, the reality as expressing as the waking world. So the waking world, the waking waker, and the experience of this waking all are indicated by the sound So from the individual standpoint and from the cosmic standpoint, everything that one knows about the waking is indicated by the sound Even science, which tries to understand this world, they study everything in the waking state only. Everything is included in So that itself becomes U and O. So that represents our dream or the cosmic dream state, and the dreamer, cosmic dreamer, as well as the individual dreamer. That is indicated by the sound U in Om. So itself becomes U. So and U together becomes O. And as one chants Om and close the lips, the sound becomes nasal and So that is the deep sleep state. It indicates the deep cosmic deep sleep state, which is the very source of this entire creation. which is indicated further also as avyakta, unmanifest. That is indicated by this sound Om. It's like the black hole. Don't know what it is. It's very deep. The cosmic unmanifest from which everything has emerged, into which everything merges. So when we chant Om also, the and Mo merges in that Om, so that it merges into it. So when we chant Om, we should pay attention to all these three aspects. The beginning of the Om, the middle, and how it merges into that sound, and then silence. Not to just chant. But first, when we chant, we should be aware of the silence from where that sound is coming. Again, it goes back into silence. So that silence represents that supreme reality, which cannot be indicated by any sound. It is that nirgun nirakar, beyond all names, beyond all forms. The only thing, nearest thing we can say about it is silence. We can't say it, but just we can keep quiet. So great Mahatmas or great realized master, they indicate that supreme reality through silence. Like Bhagwan Ramana Maharshi, those who approached him and asked about that supreme, he is to indicate it through silence. But silence is not understood. We want some sign. So then it is indicated by some sign language, like this Chin Mudra. But sign also we don't understand. Then it is indicated by sound, Om. Om also if we don't understand, then all the other mantras are there to indicate that supreme reality. So Om is the most fascinating of all the mantras, and with lot of respect and reverence one should utter it and utilize it. Whether one is man, woman, doesn't matter. Many times we have fear that, Om should not be chanted by ladies or should not be chanted by somebody. Nothing like that. Our Pujya Gurudev, he has given us this great, permission. Permission coming from a realized master is permission from God only. He says everyone can chant. In our mission, there is no restriction of chanting Om or chanting Gayatri Mantra also, for ladies or for gents, for everyone. So Om is one of the most powerful mantra, and with the help of it, we can comprehend it supreme. Again, as I said yesterday, that each mantra has got their own devatas. And those devatas, when they are properly respected, when we chant with full respect and devotion, they reveal the meaning of that mantra also. So with devotion, when we chant Om and do some Omkar Upasana, that Omkar Devata itself will reveal its secret to us. So we need not wait for the last minute to practice. That doctor has said in 1 hour you are going to, okay, now let me practice Om. That time it's very difficult, might be very difficult. So one should practice when we have the opportunity. So Om iti ekaksharam brahma vyaharan mam anusmaran yaprayati tajandeham sayati paramam gatim. One who drops his body chanting Om and meditating on the meaning of Om, Bhagavan says he attained the supreme gati, the ultimate goal of our life, the supreme state of realization or oneness with that ultimate reality is attained by such seekers. Therefore, Bhagavan says, you constantly chant Om. He says in the next verse, Ananyacheta satatam yo mam smarati nityashaha tasyaham sulabha partha nityayuktasya yoginaha ananyacheta satatam yo mam smarati nityashaha tasyaham sulabha partha nityayuktasya yoginaha. Bhagavan again he emphasizes, he says this is the sulabha path, a very, very easy path to attain me. He says that ananya cheta, with a mind, cheta means with a mind, ananya, not getting distracted, undistracted, mind which is not going here and there, mind which is under our control, mind which is steady, mind which is pure. With this mind, when we ananya cheta satatam, constantly, mam smarati, he who remembers me, nityashaha, always. See, here two terms are used, satatam and nityashaha. Satatam means constantly, at all times. And nityashaha, for a long time, not for 1 month or 2 months or 1 year, but throughout the life. Shankaracharya ji says, Na shanmasam samvatsaram va kim tarhi yavad jivam nairantaryena yomam smarati ityarthaha. Not for 1 month, not for 6 months or 1 year, but throughout one's life. One should make it one's second nature to keep in tune with God. Just like we keep our mobile in tune with the, what do you call, the connection, we see, एक तो चार्ज करते हैं और दूसरा we see that it is in the range properly. In cities and all it is always in the range, but when one travels and all, oh, it is not it has gone out of range and all. What can I do now? If the world goes, dissolves, I will not know. Nobody will send message to me. No? So, mobile is connected means it is some tower is always connected to it. Similarly, wherever we go, whatever we do, whether we are happy, unhappy, whether we are educated, uneducated, whether we are doing something, not doing something, whatever be the condition, one should be in tune with that supreme reality. That is the sadhana. That may be difficult in the beginning, but slowly and steadily it will become a second nature. It is the simplest path, Bhagavan says. There cannot be anything simple. He says, you do your daily duties, you do whatever you want. Whatever you want means your duties. But constantly keep me. Keep me means keep that supreme reality indicated by so many terms, Kavim Puranam. Keep that supreme in your heart, in your mind, in your attention. Need not have all the indicators, even one indicator which appeals to us, that supreme is my own self. That is, God is pure peace and happiness. God is that infinite reality. God is all-knowing, all-powerful. He is the self of all beings. He is expressing as life. In the 7th chapter also Bhagavan had given so many vibhutis. So when one ananya cheta, with a mind tuned, completely tuned to it. It's like a child who is sitting on the lap of the mother and then he interacts with the world. But he is sitting in the godi of the mother and interacts with the world. Then there is no problem. See, once Lord Vishnu came to meet Lord Shiva. In between I tell some stories, So Lord Vishnu, he sits on a Garuda, that Pakshi, and he came to meet Lord Shiva. And Shiva Bhagwan has got a lot of snakes in his neck and all over the body. And this Garud and snakes, they are like enemies. Garud eat all snakes and all. So when that Vishnu Bhagwan came, that snake who was there around Shiva Bhagwan's neck, he looked at that Garud and he did like that. Garud said, now I will not do anything to you, but thoda sa bahar nikal. You go little away from Lord Shiva, then I will show you. Because now I can't touch you. Now I can't touch you. So residing in Lord Shiva, he can even frighten Garud. Doesn't matter. But going away from Lord Shiva, he will not be able to do anything. Similarly, being in constant touch with the Lord, we live in this world. That is the best. Satatam, constantly. One can practice. First, it will be conscious memory. Then that memory also will go deeper. It will become our second nature. We will not be able to even realize. It will become a second nature. It's like great Mahatmas and all, they chant Bhagwan's name and remember him. It becomes their second nature. Like a great saint from Maharashtra, Sant Tukaram Maharaj, constantly used to remember God and chant his name, Vitthala, 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 constantly. And he used to do his work also. So one day he was chanting Bhagwan's name and he was passing through a place which was not very clean. So one Panditji stopped him and he said, what are you doing? You can't chant Bhagwan's name in this dirty place. You are spoiling Bhagwan's name. So please keep your mouth shut. So Tukaram Maharaj, very simple, humble person, when that Panditji told him with such force and all, he said, okay, I won't chant. And he kept his mouth shut. And a strange thing happened. From his entire body, the sound of Vitthala, 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 Vitthala started coming. So Panditji did namaskar to him and said, please forgive me. I have no right to tell you what is right and wrong. You continue. So Bhagwan's name and his memory should become part of our life, our swabhav, our nature. That is very important. People try to remember other things. And in order to remember, we have various techniques and all nowadays. We put it in our this mobile and all sorts of things. So we can do it for Bhagwan's name also. Keep it in your head. So ananya cheta satatam, constantly. In Patanjali Yoga Sutra, Patanjali Rishi says that when any sadhana, if we do continuously and for a long time, we get established in that sadhana. Then even if we die, the sadhana continues. Even if we are sleeping, the sadhana continues. Then we get totally established in that sadhana. Then we carry it in our future lifetime also. In case one doesn't attain the Supreme, one carries one sadhana even in future lifetime. So he says, Dasya Dirgha Kalaha Nairantaryena Satkara Sevita Dhrudabhumihi. Abhyas, he says, it should be done without a break for a long time. Same Bhagwan says, Satatam and Nityashaha Yo Mam Smarati. One who remembers me with love, with faith, not with complaint, not with all sorts of negative feeling, but with positively one remembers. But great Mahatmas and Bhakti literature says that even if you remember with negative feeling, that will also help. One should try to remember God with love, but even with hate and dislike and anger, if one remembers, that also will help. Ravana and Kamsa and all those people were also remembering God, but in a negative way, but that helped them. That also helps. So, ananya cheta satatam, it is like fire, whether I like it or don't like it. When I approach fire, I get the heat from fire. Similarly, whether one likes or not, when one remembers God, one becomes pure. So, ananya cheta satatam yo mam smarati nityashaha tasyaham sulabha partha. He partha, for them I am sulabha, easily attainable. Otherwise, to attain that state of God realization, enlightenment is very difficult. To walk this path of yoga and jnana is very, very difficult because it requires special qualification of the mind, of the intellect, of the body. We should have enough power of our will, strength of tapas and all, then it is easy to follow certain paths. But to remember God and follow this path of this divine remembrance is very easy. So tasyaham sulabha partha, for them Bhagavan says, I am easily attainable. Because as it was said, that whatever we think, we go towards that. We move toward that. We lean towards that. So when we constantly think and remember God, we move towards Him. Nitya yuktasya yoginaha, to a yogi, a dhyana yogi, or the one who remembers God, such a yogi, such a seeker, who is nitya yuktaha, well-tuned, completely tuned, to such a yogi, Bhagavan says, I am easily available. Sulabha. So this is the easiest path indicated in this Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavan, out of his kindness and compassion, has indicated this path. Like it? Yes or no? Very good. You don't have choice. But it's very sweet. And it's sweet because, and as you gain the understanding, because you are remembering in a way yourself, you are getting in tune to yourself. The more and more we get in tune to ourselves, the more joy, the more peace, the more fulfillment one will feel. It's like coming back home. See, after traveling here, there, people go for sightseeing and this and that. Finally, they say, "Chalo, abhi ghar jate hai." So that thought itself gives them great pleasure. Now I am going back home. And the more they move towards home, the better they feel. And finally, they reach home. Pahunch gaye Baba. Similarly, this chanting Bhagwan's name or remembering him is like going back home, to our own home. We have been roaming in this samsara for many, many lifetimes. Now we have to go back